Sukranashano Mangalanam cha
Manganajasavisi
Saurabhyam Padhamam
Paramam Have Na Mangalam.
Mangalam.
Okay.
Good.
Sorry.
No worries. Okay. So we covered some. Okay, wait a sec. Okay, I am started the live meeting. So hopefully, okay. So why don't we do this? Let's do a quick revision from last class. Let me ask a very quick trivia question. The mantra that you just recited, Tanish, what language is that mantra written in?
Prakrit.
Perfect, Prakrit, and not Sanskrit. Okay. Right. And I think Sohini, you are able to join, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So Naukar mantra is dedicated to who? Like who are we bowing down in Naukar mantra? Who can tell me? Who are we bowing down to in Naukar mantra? किनके बारे में बात होती है बताओ? Any guesses? Tanish, we covered this, right? It was in the Zoom quiz. Oh, not the Kahoot as well.
I'm not sure fully.
So start with me. What's okay? Sohini, go ahead. I see your hand raised.
Parmeshti.
Panch Parmeshti. Perfect. Tanish, so what's the name? Panch Parmeshti. Now, who are the Panch Parmeshtis? Sohini? You know the names of the Panch Parmeshti?
Arihant, Siddh, Acharya, Upadhyaya, and Sarvasadhu.
Perfect. Arihant, Siddh, Acharya, Upadhyay, and all the sadhus or all the munis. Hai na? These are the 5 Parmeshtis that we bow down to. Why do we bow down only to these 5 Parmeshtis? Why should Jains are thankful and express their obeisance to these 5 Parmeshtis? Do you know? Because they are the they are the expression of dharma. They are the expression of dharma. They are the carrier of dharma. They are the the revered souls who have shown us the true path. And that's why we are thankful to them. We are expressing our humility to the Panch Parmeshtis. Right? Right? Tanish, make sense? Hannah?
Yeah.
Okay. So why are we, when we start the sequence, by the way, when we talk to Acharya, in India, and we ask them, what should be the right sequence of Naukar mantra, the revered Acharya and Muni says it could be anyone, right? So you could even start with Namo Siddhanam or the other way around, Namo Loe Savasahunam. Like there is no general sequentiality. However, by tradition, the sequentiality that we follow is we first bow down to Arihant Bhagwan. Hai na? Namo Arihantanam. Right? That is, Namo means Namo, right? Namo is like the Prakrit word for Namo, which means Namaskar. Hai na? So, Namo Arihantanam. We are first bowing down to Arihant Bhagwan. There is a reasoning for it. Why do we bow down to Arihant Bhagwan first and then to Siddha Bhagwan and then to Acharya and then to Upadhyaya and then to Sarva Sadhus? By the way, as I said, that order should not matter because all of them are equally revered to us. But then we do give a additional, like we have additional expression of humility and obeisance towards Arihant Bhagwan. Can anyone tell me why? And it's fine. All the right, there's no right wrong answer.
It's a symbolic representation of mystic word.
Okay, wait, sorry. I think I pressed the wrong button. Go ahead. Go ahead. Anyone would like to take a guess? why do we start with Arihant Bhagwan? Why do we say Namo Arihantanam first? Okay. Sohini, Tanish, anything? Ayan, any guesses? Okay, no worries. I'll tell you. So reason why, by the way, so one thing you have to understand. So who are Arihant Bhagwan? Arihant Bhagwan are those revered souls who have attained Kevalya Gyan, who have become omniscient, right? Because with their tap, with the souls that have achieved Kevalya Gyan are, or the highest knowledge or the supreme knowledge, are considered as Arihant Bhagwan. Not only that, Arihant Bhagwan have a special quality, and the quality is that they are Hitopadeshi. The word there is Hitopadeshi. Now, what does Hitopadeshi means? Hitopadeshi means the one who have done, who have given us sermons and done an uppkar on us, or have done a big what's the word? They have done a big uppkar. So what's the word for uppkar, Ishna? They have done a big they have given us a great blessing, right? And the blessing of knowledge, right? So what they have done is not only they achieved Kevalya Gyan, but they also, after achieving Kevalya Gyan, we were blessed with their sermons, their Deshna, right? And that Deshna is what defined the dharma that's available to us today. You know, a portion from that Deshna is what is basically, available in the agams and the all the angs and, all the scriptures that are available to us today, right? After a long passage of time, right? So that's why Arihant they are the supreme teachers. You can say it that way as well, right? Because they are the one who, whatever Gyan came to them with their tap, they were able to express it out, and basically that expression of their out is what got defined, got codified into all the agams that's available to us, right? So that's why we start with Arihant Bhagwan. They are the one who have established the tirth, who have established the dharma, who have established the dharma. So that's why we start with Arihant Bhagwan. Now, any soul that becomes Arihant is bound to become Siddh. Okay, so all the Arihants of the past are now Siddh, right? That way, if somebody says, is Mahavir Bhagwan an Arihant or Mahavir Bhagwan soul as Siddh, what would be your answer? Sohini, is Mahavir Bhagwan a Arihant or is he a Siddh? What do you think?
Is he Arihant?
Yeah, my question is he a Arihant or is he a Siddh?
It's Arihant, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Any other kid who want to come in? Tanish, any guesses? Is Mahavir Bhagwan's soul Arihant or Siddh? Let me put it this way. Atisha is raising the hand. Okay, I just noticed. Sorry, Atisha. Go ahead.
Inhale.
Sorry. I think it's maybe Siddh because the Mahavir Bhagwan's soul is liberated.
Okay, great answer. I like your reasoning, definitely. What if I tell you that both the answers are correct? Mahavir Bhagwan was Arihant and he's Siddh also, right? So yes, yeah. So go ahead, Atish.
So I agree, because once he was a Arihant, now he's a Siddh. Currently he's a Siddh.
Exactly. You have the right reasoning. Exactly. Right. So that's why when Sohini said he's Arihant, I would say yes. Right. The way when Mahavir Bhagwan got his Kevalya Gyan, and then for the next 12 years he was sermonizing, and his Samosharan was happening all around India, all around that land. during that period, he was a Arihant, right? His Deshna was coming, was happening, and his Samosharan was happening, and that way the knowledge was getting passed down to all the beings, right? And during that phase, his soul is considered as Arihant. And later on, when at the age of 72, on the day of Deepavali, that is Kartik Krishna Amavasya, when Mahavir Bhagwan attained moksha, that is, he got rid of his balance for aghatiya karma, then, and he basically his soul rose up to Siddhashila, then he became Siddha Bhagwan. है ना? So आज की, when you look at from the current times, the answer is right, what Atisha said, that he is a Siddha Bhagwan, his soul is Siddh, right? But from the vantage point of the time when he was still living, when he still had a body, right? Although he had attained Kevalya Gyan, he was a Arihant. है ना? And this is what is a beauty of Jain philosophy. We have a concept of we have concepts of Anekantwad and Syatwad, right? These are what defines our philosophies, which is used for defining our philosophy and explaining it. These two concepts. It's always from a particular vantage point. When you are speaking, you are always speaking from a particular viewpoint, from a vantage point, right? Like before Mahavir Bhagwan became an Arihant, he was actually a Digambar Muni, right? So he was a Muni, he was an Acharya. And before he became a Muni and Acharya, he was a Jain Shravak, he was a prince, right? So different phases in his life. When we are talking about Vardhaman Mahavir, whose Janma Kalyanak happened, the Janma Kalyanak didn't happen for Tirthankar Mahavir, है ना? Janma Kalyanak was for the soul of that boy, that was of that being that was born as prince, है ना? Prince Vardhaman. Later on, when Prince Vardhaman renunciated and he took Digambar Diksha, then he became Muni Vardhaman or Muni Mahavir, right? And then later when he attained Kaivalya Gyan, then he became Arihant Mahavir. And then finally, when his soul departed, when his Deha Parivartan, or not Parivartan, his Deha Vichhed happened, at that point he became a Siddh. है ना? So that's the cycle of it. But anyways, coming back to the point, so where we started is Arihant and Siddh, right? So we start with Namo Arihantanam, then we do Namo Siddhanam, then we do Namo Ayaryanam, which means bowing down to Acharya. Ayar is the root word for Acharya in Prakrit, right? And who are Acharya? Acharya is the leaders of a monk Sangh, right? They are the one who are responsible, who preside over a Sangh. They are the leader monk. They are also Digambar Muni, but they have additional responsibility of taking care of a monk Sangh, of a congregation of monks, Muni and Arika both. And then comes Upadhyayas. So Upadhyayas are one who are teachers, who are specialists in one or more Anga, and they are responsible for basically teaching those Anga to other peer monks within the Sangha. They have responsibility that way. So they are Upadhyaya. And then all the other Munis who are part of the Sangha, all the other sadhus, arikas, everybody, we consider them as part of. So we said Namo Ayaryanam, then Namo Uvajjayanam, which is Namo Upadhyayas, and then Namo Loe Savva Sahunam, that is bowing down to all the monks of this lok, of this multiverse, right? So that's how we say our Namokar mantra. That's how we bow down to the Panch Parmeshtis. Panch ka matlab pata hai na sabko? Panch means five, hai na? Parmeshti means the five. The loose word for it would be gods, or Parmeshtis, right? That way. Okay. So with that said, now let's move on to the next topic for today, and that is Bijakshar. Bijakshar mantra. Okay. Om is considered as the Bijakshar mantra. Now, who is going to tell me what does Bij plus Akshar means? There are two words that together form Bijakshar. we consider Om as Bijakshar. Any guesses what Bij stands for and what Akshar stands for? किसी को पता है बीज का माने? आई एम श्योर आपने सुना होगा ये वर्ड कहीं पे अपने पेरेंट्स से कभी बीज.
Is this word in Hindi?
Yes, it's a Hindi word. You are right. You are on the right track.
Okay. Doesn't akshar mean writing then?
Sorry, can you come again?
Doesn't akshar mean like writing?
Close, but not exactly writing. So there are two words. First,
Drawing.
no, it's close again.
That's my sister.
Let's first start with beach. Oh, okay. Let's start with beach. Do you know what beach is? I see one hand raised. Atisha, go ahead.
I think like beach means seed and then akshar means like word, so it's kind of like a staircase for like knowledge, I'm guessing.
Perfect. So you are right. I'll do a slight correction, but you are right. When you say beej, it means seed. Hai na? And akshar means alphabet. Right? So beej, akshar means seed alphabet or root alphabet. The alphabet that is root of all the other alphabets. That one sound that, you know, when you basically multiply it multiple times, then all the knowledge that you see all around you is formed from that one sound. So that one sound, that most fundamental sound is what we call as Bijakshar, right? And that is Om. Om is considered as the Bijakshar, the root of all the words, all the other alphabets, and that way all the other words, and that way all the sentences, and that way all the other body of knowledge.
Okay, so basically, Om is like the superior of like all of the alphabet.
I would not say superior, it's the fundamental. It's the root of all the other alphabets.
Like the base
of all the other alphabets. Exactly. Like if people who know, who may be learning about music, right? That sound sa is considered that way, right? That's like the root sound or root. What's the word? Root what? Sa is what? Root. What is saregama? So, yeah. So it's the root swar, hai na? Same way, Om is the Bijakshar. So let's listen to this quick video now, and then that will give you more idea on what Om stands for. And then there is a very beautiful connection between Om and the you know, start of the universe, which I'll tell you after this video. Okay, so let's go through this video. Any questions before I start the video? Okay, I guess not. So let's start this. Let's go through. Okay. Go back.
Today we will understand the Jain Om symbol. Om is a sacred and mystic syllable, also called as Bijakshar mantra. It's a symbolic representation of mystic word for Namokar mantra. The Jain Om symbol has 5 different colors, which represents, red represents Siddha or Ashari Parmeshti, the yellow color represents Acharya Parmeshti, the white color represents Arihant Parmeshti, the green color represents Upadhyay Parmeshti, and the black color represents Muni or Sadhu Parmeshti.
Okay, a trivia question. Where have you seen all these colors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where have you seen these 5 colors?
On the Jain flag.
Perfect. Spot on. These are the 5 colors on the Jain flag also. So now, if somebody asks you a question in a reverse order, right? What are the colors on the Jain flag represents? You know what they represent, right? They represent the Panch Parmeshti, hai na?
All these represent our Panch Parmeshti. It includes all the first letters of Panch Parmeshti. A or A represent Arihanta Parmeshti. A or A also represents a Shariri, also known as Siddha Parmeshti. A or
Okay, why have we called Siddha as a Shariri? Right? Any guesses? Any answers for that? See here, the representative word for Siddha is the sound which stands for a Shariri. So what do we mean by a Shariri?
Doesn't Shariri mean without body?
Perfect. Without body. A plus Shariri. No body. Right? So when a soul, when a Kevalya Gyani or a Samyak Drashti Jeev dies, right? Their body is gone, and their soul rises up to reach the Siddhashila or attain moksha or attain salvation, right? Once they attain salvation, they are free from the bondage of and the cycle of birth and death, right? So they are never born again. They never take a body again. They stay as a soul, or in other words, they stay bodiless or ashariri. है ना? So इसलिए सिद्ध भगवान को अशरीरी भी कहा गया है, right? But now this is very important, right? Not many people know about this, what Ashariri stands for. Ashariri stands for Siddha Bhagwan, as Tanish said, because Ashariri means no body, right? Once a soul is free from the bondage of karma, and it rises up to Siddhashila, it never takes another body again. ठीक है ना? So that's why Ashariri. Great answer, Tanish. Good.
but A represents Acharya Parmeshti. U or U represents Upadhyaya Parmeshti. And M or M represents Muni, also known as Sadhu Parmeshti. Now let's understand how these letters form the Om pronunciation, Om sound. When we add A plus A, it gives a sound A. When we add AA and AA, it gives a sound A. When we add AA and U, it gives a sound O. And when we add AAU plus M, it gives a sound O, which combined together sounds as Om. Jai Jinesh.
Okay, so now you know how Om is formed, or in other words, Om itself has representation of all the five parmeshtis, right? So if you slow down while speaking Om, these are the sounds that should come or do come if the pronunciation is right? You start with Om like that, right? So if you slow it down, if you change the tempo while speaking Om, then you should be able to distinguish between these five sounds, these five sounds, each representing one parmeshti. ठीक है ना? So that's the beauty of Om, and that's why Om is considered Bijakshar. There is also one in Indian philosophy, not just Jain philosophy, but other parallel philosophies that originated from India, including Hinduism, Buddhism. Om has great significance. Om is considered as the root Bijakshar everywhere in all the cultures, right? That's why you will see Om in Hindu temples, you will see Om in Buddhist temples, you will see here Om in all type of religions, including Sikhism also, that originated in India. So that's the significance of Om. Now, I told you, right, there is a story or there is a connection of Om also, and this is related to the start of the current universe. I will not say, start of the universe, but the current universe that we see, that when the primordial atom or the primordial, body of matter exploded out, it is considered that this first sound that came out of that explosion was the sound of Om, right? So that's also a connection there. That's why it is considered the root sound or the fundamental sound, or Bijakshar, Bij plus Akshar, because all the other sounds are considered to be formed from that. Okay, Atisha, you have something?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, so it's all right. Right. So that's also a kind of a connection of Om, and why Om is considered as Bijakshar. Like, we never got an opportunity to learn about how time is defined in the Jain or Jain as per Jain philosophy. But in Jain philosophy, time is always defined as eternal, right? There is no end or start. There is no creationism that's associated. It just cycles, right? So there is there are so many universe that form, and then they are destructing, and then they are forming again. And there we follow a cycle of time which is made up of aras or kals, and that's how time is defined. But for another day, that should be an item for curiosity for you, how time is defined in Jainism. If you Google it, you'll find a lot of content for it. And you all are teenagers, so I'm sure you are curious and you spend a lot of time on gadgets, right? So you have access to Google and Chat GPT and whatnot. You ask this question sometime. Let's see what Chat GPT responds. Hai, how is time defined in as per Jain Dharma or Jain philosophy? Anyways, so having said that, let's see, before I move forward, any question on Om, the topic Om and Panch Parameshti? Okay, Atisha, and I see a hand raised. Go ahead.
So, like, you said that Om is used in Hinduism, Buddhism, and like way more. So, what are like what are the reasons behind like that culture? Is it like the same reason? Is it the same reason for us, or like does it vary?
More or less, Atisha. Great question. I will not go into all the philosophical aspects of how they define it, but more or less, it is considered as the Bijakshar, right? Because this is our common tradition. It's just that there were aberrations, and with time and what we call as Kaldosh, different, religions started interpreting the knowledge that was passed down from Tirthankars, from Arihant Bhagwan in various different ways. So there are aberrations, there are different ways of interpreting it. However, if you go back to these philosophies, more or less the thought process is same. It is considered as that primordial sound, that fundamental sound that is considered as the originating point for all knowledge, for all scriptures. And then this thought around, like, when if you tie it to the theory of creationism which exists in Hinduism, then it is about like that this is the first sound that was formed when the primordial atom exploded, right? That's what it's related to.
So besides like there's no confirmed answer for like you say for all of India, there's no confirmed answer for what Om means. Like there's a base for what Om means, but like not a
no. That's not what I said. I said there is a confirmed answer, and the answer is it is considered as the fundamental sound. It is the fundamental mantra, or it is the mantra that captures the Panch Parameshti, the bowing down, or the thought of bowing down to the Panch Parameshti. That's what is the confirmed answer. What I'm saying is there are other interpretations of it that you will find in those cultures. That's beyond the scope of this lecture. We are not here. Our focus is not to delve upon it from other religious perspective. It's just about the fact that it is such a common thing, it's such a fundamental thing that you will find it in all the great religions of Eastern philosophy of India.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So with that, let's do this. Let's move over to the second part of this session today, which is about a story. Before I move on to that story, I would like to do a quick survey. You all are teenagers now, right? I want you to tell me one episode when you basically felt hopeless. Like when you said, oh, you know what? Nothing is going to work. Everything is falling down. The sky is falling and earth is shattering or whatever. Okay, Atisha, I think want to go in first. Go ahead, Atisha.
Actually, I'm not a teenager. I'm a fourth grader.
Oh, you
So-
are a fourth grader. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. No worries. Okay.
So because like school is really extremely hard, so I like it's probably school.
Okay. At school, you had that particular thing. Okay. Nice. And Atisha, where are you based out of?
I'm in Orlando, Florida.
Orlando. Okay. Great. Okay. ठीक है, Atisha. Okay. Who else want to go in next? Sohini. Go ahead, Sohini.
Math test and I didn't study.
Sorry, come again.
When I had like a math test and I didn't study.
And then you felt that you lost all the hope. Okay. So what happened then? Like you lost the hope, and what happened at that exam?
Then I studied like last minute with my friends
Okay.
and then I passed. So
Okay, great. So everything came back fine, right? Okay, Tanish, go ahead. What was your experience?
During a certain class, I forgot that we had a test.
Okay.
So that was a test, which is pretty nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I see. And what happened after that?
I got an okay score on it after like studying like
I see.
really last minute.
Okay, but everything came back normal, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Anybody else want to share their experience on what happened, right? Okay, no worries. I think we have good enough. So let's start. This is a great story. And the message here is never lose hope. Okay, so let's see how it goes. It's a story about merchant. I'll not tell this full story, but what's the point, right? So let me start. By the way, do you see my screen shared with that never lose hope kind of screen?
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay, perfect. So now let me start.
Children, kids, I am back with another great story. Story titled Never Lose Hope. There was an orphan child in a village. A rich merchant thought of doing something for the child to help him. The merchant told the child, "Take 4 sacks of grain and sell it in the village."
Okay, pay attention, guys, okay? Because there is a quiz after this.
Nearby, whatever you earn will be yours. There was a river between both the villages, and he had to cross the river in a boat. While he was crossing the river, the boat sank. The nearby people somehow saved him, but the 4 sacks of grain were completely submerged. He thought, "What should I do now? I am not worthy of showing my face to the merchant." The news reached the merchant. The merchant called him and said, "It's okay. Though the boat has sunk, at least you are fine. Next week, go again to the village with the grains." And the merchant gave him 8 sacks of grain this time. This time again, the boat sank. He thought, "I won't be spared now. How will I pay such a huge debt?" He lost all hope. The people again brought him to the merchant. The merchant again said, "It's okay. Just the boat has sunk, but your luck has not. The boat sank twice. That's okay. You are safe. That is more important." The merchant asked the boy to come again next week. The merchant gave him 16 sacks of grain, and this time the boat sailed across safely. The boy gained so much profit by selling the 16 sacks of grain that it made up for the loss of the 12 sacks of grain.
When the boy returned, the merchant said to him, always keep in mind that if you ever incur loss, do not think that you will always suffer loss. You can make profit only after suffering loss. So, kids, what we learn from this story? Yes, don't ever let your life's hope run out. When someone makes a mistake, encourage him rather than discouraging him. Changing.
Okay. How did you like the story? Did you get the message? Sohini, Tanesh, what's the key message out here? Go ahead, Sohini, go ahead.
Not give up and not lose hope.
Not lose hope and don't give up. You know what is more important? What is the thought behind that? When you will not lose hope and not give up, when you have a positive attitude, right? If you look at it, the attitude of this merchant was very positive, isn't it? Right? He believed that, everything will be fine at the end of the day. Correct? And that's the message that he gave to the kid also. So every time, bad situations were happening, because this merchant had this beautiful positive thought, his boat never sank in literally, right? Although it sank, but, there's his thought boat was always floating. And not just floating, it was thriving. At the end, what happened, right? He was able to crack a great deal and everything fell in place, isn't it? Right? So never lose hope. When would you never lose hope? When you have a positive attitude towards life. Correct? Make sense? So when you don't complete your homework, it's not, I'm not saying that it's okay, you should be like, a lazy bum and justify it every time to your parents. That's not what the message is. The message is never panic. Right? You will always, like you had these situations, you had math exam and whatnot. And at the end of the day, what happened? Right? You put extra effort, took help from your friends, right? Looked around and passed with flying colors, right? So everything will fall in place. You may have run into a stumbling block, but that's just a block which can be removed with extreme efforts. Right? So if you have a positive attitude, you will be able to put that extreme effort very easily also. You will not feel stressed out. You will just consider it as part of the game. Hannah? That's what the message out here is. Any questions on this story? Anything that occurred in your mind as you were going through the story? Or things that you will do differently next time? Sohini, any thought? Tanish? Okay, no worries. Let's keep going. How about let's go through this quiz quickly. I'll ask this question to you. One of you can raise hand and answer. And this is part of your assignment also, right? So what did the... Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead,
I'm
Sohini.
the Google Classroom, so I'm not able to get like all the assignments.
Okay. Did you reach out to someone to get the Google Classroom?
Able to so far. Like I don't know how to get there.
Okay. Why don't we do this, right? I will raise it with the team behind, and someone will reach out to you. How about that? Okay. So let's go through the questions today. What did the merchant do when his 4 sacks of grain were drained by the boy? Okay, I do see some hands being raised. So let me see. Tanish, go ahead.
Merchant gave boy 8 sacks of grain to sell.
Right. He still exhibited trust in that boy, right? When the first four sacks of grain got drained out, still he trusted the boy and gave him 8 more, right? So he was willing to take more risk on this boy, right? Okay. Atisha, you have something? Your hand is raised.
I'm sorry, I forgot to lower it.
Okay. Sohini, anything from your end?
Raising it for the next question.
Oh, okay, next question. So let me first read that. Okay. What did the boy think when the 8 sacks of grain were drained to? Okay, go ahead, Sohini.
The above.
He will not be saved this time. How will he pay the amount for these sacks? He lost all his hope. The above, yes, all these thoughts occurred to him. All in all, he was getting very negative, right? He was getting anxiety. Anxiety is a killer, right? It always gets you in a vicious cycle of thinking, which it's a negative spiral, right? So he, in a way, was getting into this negative spiral of thoughts, right? So what happened next? What did the merchant say to the boy after his 8 sacks of grain were also drowned? Ayan.
B.
What?
D.
You said D, right? D as in David?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I thought you were saying B and being mischievous. No, I was just kidding. Yes, it is D as in David. You are safe. That is most important, right? He still said, no worries. It's okay. It happens, part of the game. What is most important is you survived. You didn't drown with that sinking boat. You're still there. And if you're there, then we'll be able to recover the losses. So don't worry. Great answer. Okay, let's keep going. What happened when the merchant gave 16 sacks of grain to sell to the boy? So next what he did, he doubled it. He said, okay, now take 16. He was a resourceful merchant, so he could afford that, obviously. Not always those situations are there. So don't think you will lose an iPhone, you will throw it in pool of water, in your swimming pool, and then come back to your parents and say, oh, now I need 2 iPhones. It doesn't work always all the time, right? So you have to be cautious. So what happened here? What happened when the merchant gave 16 sacks of grain to sell to the boy? Okay, let's go to Sohini this time. Go ahead, Sohini.
The boy earned a huge profit.
Yes. So next what happened? Guess what? This time with those 16, he was able to not only get profit, but he was able to recover from the losses that he incurred when he lost those 12 bags, right? 4 plus 8 in the last 2 stints. Anna? So that's what happened. Okay, great. So what do we learn from this story? What do we learn from this story, Atisha?
I think all the above.
We should never lose hope. One, we should always motivate others. So who motivated who in this story?
No, except for B.
No. That's not true. Who motivated who in this story?
Nobody. I mean, like the merchant, he was like not really, but kind of motivating
He was
the
motivating.
poor boy.
Come on. It's not kind of. He was actually motivating, right? He was saying, hey, don't worry. Okay, take 8 next time. He didn't say, oh, what the hell did you do? You lost my 4 bags, right? He rather said, here you go. Take these 8. Go again. Next time he said, okay, don't worry. You are safe. That's most important thing. Take 16. Go again, right? So he was motivating. Hannah?
Yeah.
And then we should not give up if we incur loss in the beginning. We should not. Now, that doesn't mean that, we start becoming lazy and we become, careless. That's not the message here. The message is, if because of some situations which are beyond our control, if we start losing something or we run into some difficult situation, then we should not be losing hope. We should channelize our positive energy and use it to our advantage, right? This is the key message here. Channelize your positive energy, always stay positive, and never lose hope. Okay?
Yes.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's about it. Do you have any questions for me for today or from the past class? Any of you? Okay, I would take it as no. That means we are at the end of the class. So why don't we do another recitation of Navkar mantra? Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Uvajjayanam, Namo Loe Savasahunam, Eso Panchanamo Yaro, Sava Pava Panashanam, Mangalanam Cha Savesim, Padhamam Hoi Mangalam. Jai Jinendra to all. जावाणी के ज्ञान से सूझे लो कालो, जो वाणी मस्तक धरूं देहूं सदा धो। ये जिनवाणी भारती मतो है जपो दिन रैन, जो तेरी शरणा गए मोह सो पाहुए सुख चैन। जय जिनेन्द्र to everyone and Uttam Shama. Thank you for joining the class. Let's make it a point to be on time next time. है ना? Right on time. I would greatly appreciate that. Okay? Thank you, everyone.
Jai Jinendra.
Jai Jinendra.
Jai Jinendra.
Jai Jinendra.